Joining us now, Michael Fanone, retired D.C. police officer, who, of course, was among those attacked on January 6th. I just want to start by asking you what goes through your head when you hear January 6th defendants referred to as hostages.
I mean, it's outrageous, but it's not unexpected. Elise Stefanik is an insurrectionist. On January 6th, she voted to overturn the results of a free and fair election based solely on the statements of Donald Trump and a few of his crazy supporters. She used the authority of her position as an elected member of Congress to legitimize baseless accusations and with no evidence to support those claims. And her rhetoric, along with others, inspired thousands of Americans, her own party's supporters, to attack the Capitol and police officers who were there to protect her.
You released a statement, in fact, saying many of the things that you've just said now in support of the censure resolution. Do you think that this specific action, though, a censure, really helps to hold her accountable? I think there was a time when a censure really was something rare. It was widely seen as an important kind of moral rebuke. Now, just in the 118th Congress, the House has already voted to censure 3 different members. I wonder if you think this risks looking more like a tit-for-tat political move than an honorable stance.
Well, I mean, I agree with you in part. You know, the idea of a censure would resonate with somebody who had honor or integrity. Elise Stefanik has none of the fundamental qualities of a true leader. She has no honor, no integrity, no courage. She's willing to sell out her country and her fellow countrymen in a personal quest for power. That being said, I've said many times now, I think this, you know, the war that we are waging against MAGA and this insurrectionist movement is an all hands on deck affair. And so everyone should be doing everything within their power. If you're a member of Congress, I guess that's censuring your fellow representatives, because there are still decent people in this country who find that rhetoric outrageous. And so, you know, I applaud the congressman's efforts to hold her accountable in the means that he has at his disposal.
You know, NBC News has learned that, and this is exclusive reporting from my colleagues, that former President Trump is eyeing Stefanik as his potential vice president. He has called her, to folks he's talked to about his process, a killer. Stefanik had said in her Meet the Press interview, in fact, she would be honored to serve in any capacity in the Trump administration. If there were to be a Trump-Stefanik administration, what do you think that means for the reality for January 6th, for the people who are in prison, the insurrectionists, and what does it mean? What would it mean overall?
I try not to think about these things. But, I mean, I believe that first and foremost, I think day one, Donald Trump pardons all of those of his supporters that attacked the Capitol on January 6, 2021, to include those that attacked members of law enforcement like myself. I think that the January 6th narrative gets flipped on its head. It'll go down as a, you know, patriotic moment in American history in which Trump and his supporters stormed the Capitol and, you know, let it be known their grievance against our government.
We only have a few seconds left, but I'm thinking about E. Jean Carroll, who has been on the stand, very different circumstance, right? But has her own things to say about Donald Trump, but also what has happened to her as a result of saying these things about Donald Trump. Do you ever have any regrets at all about becoming as public as you have in your criticism of Donald Trump and what happened on January 6th?
None whatsoever. I mean, I have concerns. I mean, just the other day, in fact, yesterday, you know, I was working out at the gym and was confronted by a Trump supporter who became enraged and threatened me. This is a very real reality for those of us who are out here and maybe don't have the means or the support apparatus to have full-time security. Something I wouldn't have anyways. But, I'm concerned about my family. I'm worried that my daughters are going to come across a parent that knows who I am and knows the things that I've said about Donald Trump and that they would suffer as a result of that.
Michael Fanone, who has been very much out there and is supporting the censure of Elise Stefanik. Thank you so much for being on the program. We appreciate you taking the time.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks for having me.